Welcome.
You are watching Line Screw 1.
Well, hello tubers. Hope you're doing well wherever you are in this crazy YouTube universe. Finally quit raining for maybe 20 minutes, so I'm out here shooting a video. And we are on the verge of the great Canadian exodus. Starting at midnight tonight, there's going to be a whole lot of Canadians leaving the country. How do I know this? A couple reasons. First of all, the land border finally opens after, 20 months? Sure, you could fly, elsewhere, but you had to fly. You couldn't drive your car, which, a lot of Canadians, they like taking their families, like doing a little bit of shopping. Finally, that darn border is opening. So I'm going to be part of that great exodus, and I'm hoping it's not big lineups, because everywhere I go, for example, I had to buy travel medical insurance. Canadians, we don't like paying for health care, so we carry emergency travel medical, and I haven't been carrying that insurance for the last almost 2 years, well, a year and a half I guess, because I wasn't leaving the country. So why pay for something I'm not going to use? Plus there was a while there where they dropped COVID coverage because they said it was an existing known risk. So you get the idea. So I didn't carry the coverage, so I have coverage, $10 million. I think that's sufficient, especially to get me home. So I had to buy that, and there was huge lineups to purchase that travel medical insurance. And there's big lineups to get passport photos. Now I already have a passport that's valid, so I didn't have to deal with that. But everybody I'm talking to is ready for the great exodus. So I'm really curious to see what those border lineups are going to be like starting at midnight. Guarantee you there's going to be a few people queued up at 5 minutes to midnight or whatever, ready to roll. Because we kind of forget how integrated the Canadian and American societies and economies are. We all have vacation properties or friends, relatives, even children. There's families that are been split up because of this. You might have an ex-wife with your kids living in Cincinnati and you're living in Calgary. So it's become a headache. So there's a lot of people and a lot of pent-up demand of people that just want to get out of Dodge and go south. And then you add to it the retired folks like me who want to get south to get some sunshine. Because let's face it, Canada in fall and winter is not very toasty warm. Makes a lot of sense to me why you'd want to go south. And it has nothing to do with politics or anything like that. It's just that it is warmer the further south you go. The country below us could be called anything and we'd go there if it was warmer. Now, some people are, of course, jumping right over that American border and flying direct to places like Mexico or Costa Rica or Cuba. And good for them if they want to do so. As for me, I live within a 45-minute drive of 5 different land border crossings. So I'm used to being able to cross the border. Sometimes I cross the border for 15 minutes. I mean, I even know people who live 5 minutes across the border. So the border was kind of an invisible thing for me all my life. I remember even as a kid crossing on a bicycle with no identification to go get, ice cream and soda at Sumas, Washington, crossing from Abbotsford. And the border guards would just let us go because where else are we going to go? Of course, 9/11 changed all that. COVID's changed a lot of things too. So the border gets a little more tighter. Now, I'm not one person to sit at home and just mope and wait to die. I'm a traveler. Most Canadians are travelers. That's why passport ownership is very high for Canadians. We like to travel. At any given moment, we got 1 million of our citizens outside the country. Perhaps not during COVID, but you get the idea. And how are you going to be able to tell us Canadians? Because we kind of walk among you in all the cities of the world. But if you see us with a poppy this week, this is a a symbol that's celebrating 100 years, originally designed to commemorate those that died for our country in the Commonwealth nations in the First World War. Now, of course, it symbolizes all the different conflicts that the Commonwealth nations have had, particularly Canada, because I am Canadian, so it symbolizes World War I, World War II, Korea, and our other conflicts. And we tend to wear this in remembrance, and it's a very important symbol. And that is for November 11th, which I know some of you Americans that are older might remember it as Armistice Day or Veterans Day now, of course. So poppy wearing isn't quite as prevalent in the United States, I've noticed, but for Canadians, it's almost like shitting on the graves of those who died for our freedoms if you don't wear it. Of course, I understand the idea that some people don't feel obliged, nor should you feel obliged, but at least you should remember, and I do remember. So that's one way you're going to see us filtering among you this week on the streets of Los Angeles or wherever you may encounter us Canadians. So I'm getting ready to roll. I like to come home to a clean place, so I've actually been tidying up and doing laundry and a bunch of errands so that when I do return, I return to a clean RV. It's just one of my weird things I like to do. And of course, Sammy the Pooper will have to go into doggy jail or doggy hotel, depending on how you look at it. She kind of likes it because I've been sending her to the same kennel for years. Of course, she hasn't been there in about 2 years because, you know, the travel embargo, so to speak. And I think she likes it because she's been going to the same place. You know, she's kind of familiar with the drill. She knows Dad's coming back to pick her up eventually. And it's just gives her a break from me and me from her, where I don't have to think, oh gee, it's 5:30, it's time to feed the dog and walk the dog. You know what I'm saying. So we get a break from each other, like most married couples should. I'm not married to the dog, but you understand it's kind of an intimate relationship when you live with a dog in an RV. You're always in each other's faces, but she respects my privacy as much as she can, and I do the same for her. Yeah, so anyway, I will miss Sammy the Pooper while I'm away, but it'll be nice to feel the sunshine on the skin and do something different and eat a little bit of American fast food. So, yeah. But the million-dollar question is, how big is this exodus of Canada going to be? I'm wondering. I'm going to be watching the news. I might even drive down to the border at midnight if I feel up to it, just to see what that lineup's like, to see how the hardcore people. Now, there is a train of thought that says perhaps you shouldn't be on that first wave. Maybe go a little later. Now, sometimes that bites you in the butt, because the hardcore planners that are thinking outside the box, perhaps like me, are thinking, well, maybe you go the day after, the third day after, the week after. Well, what happens if everybody's thinking the same thing and then you all show up on the same day and then the lineup is even worse, rather than spreading it all out? Thankfully, most 4 out of the 5 border crossings that we do have here are open 24 hours, which is a saving grace, I think. Some people will get ahead of the pack by crossing at a weird hour like 4:30 in the morning. But hey, I'm excited about going down to Washington State and buying some American products that I haven't bought, like my Tillamook cheese. I know that's from Oregon. I haven't had that in forever. I love it. It's not that we don't make the same cheese here. Yeah, we do. But the Tillamook, it's award-winning. It's different. I like it. Let's face it. There are some great American products out there. And let's face the bigger challenge. There are so many border communities that are hurting economically. Places like Point Roberts, Washington. They're on a peninsula trapped away from the rest of the continental United States. They're hurting. The other border towns like Linden, Bellingham, and Sumas, Washington, man, their whole economy is based upon people shipping things there and picking them up, or buying cheese, milk, and gas and propane. And the Canadians haven't been there, and they've represented most of their customer base, for decades. So I know they're quite excited about seeing us Canadians back there spending our money. And of course, I'm excited about seeing the Americans coming up here. Now, we have opened the border since August 9th. That's right, August 9th. The Americans have been welcome to come up here. You gotta jump through the hoops and use all the the apps to prove that you're vaccinated and all that kind of stuff. So I get it if you don't want to come up, if you want to just stay at home and wait to see if all this ends. We're actually hoping that at some point the vaccination testing to return to Canada ends. It's a couple $100 to be tested, and if you got a family of 5 and you got to spend, say, $200 per person to return home to Canada, it's another $1,000 added to your trip. And I don't know how many people are going to just cross the border for an hour just to get cheap milk and cheese when you got to get a test and prove it. I don't think it's going to happen. Only the wealthy or the foolish are going to test that one out. But the good news is if you do cross on the land borders, you don't have to provide an actual test that you're negative with COVID going down. You do have to coming back. If you fly, you have to provide testing both directions. So that's why I'm driving, and I'm going to be catching a flight in Washington State. Plenty of flights to go south from Bellingham and Seattle. So I have my flights booked. I got my hotels booked. I'm ready to roll, and I'm ready to enjoy American hospitality. Because let's face it, most of you American folks are wonderful people, generous people, kind people, decent people, and you deserve the rest of the world to come there and spend our money. Don't matter where you're coming from, Switzerland, Australia, New Zealand. Come on down to America, spend your money, help these good American folks recover from the COVID. And maybe one day you shall return the favor and go to their country and spend some money and help their economy. It all works out in the wash as far as I'm concerned. So I've yet to meet anybody in my travels in any of the countries I've been, the people I've met through YouTube, that have been horrible people. No, most people are decent people, generous people, kind people. And it's just nice to break bread and hang out with some of these folks and, you know, do what we do, because we forget that we're not citizens of particular nations, because, you know, nations are just abstract concepts with artificial boundaries that change from time to time. Borders are meant to change and be redrawn, but the fact that we're citizens of the world never changes. And as far as I'm concerned, I'll always be a German and I'll always be a Canadian, but I will always, no matter what, even if they change the name of my country, I'll always be a citizen of the planet Earth. And that's the way I think of things in a philosophical manner. So put your comments down below on the great Canadian exodus that is about to happen in, I don't know what, it's about T-minus 10 hours from now. I don't know, I'm not even paying attention at the time. We had daylight savings kick in, so I'm all foobarred over that. So it's going to take a little while for me and the dog to adjust to the daylight savings time. Hey, and being retired, you know, clocks, what do clocks really mean? They're artificial constructs. I really just care if the sun's out or the sun's not out. So anyway, I will see you Yankee Doodle dandies in the great country of America very soon.
I got you, I got you.